Right, Monday.
Monday. Well, Johnny, welcome to another edition of Lunch Breaks here with you on Monday, September the 8th. And we're excited to be with you. We hope you had a good weekend. Some good football on if you're into that kind of thing. There was some tennis on if you're into that kind of thing. And, well, the world just never stops moving. So
No,
there's
never.
always something going on.
Yeah, it used to be you would drop, things you didn't want with PR
On a
on
Friday.
a Friday,
afternoon.
and now that just
Yeah.
kind of doesn't matter anymore.
Well, if you think about it, that makes really good sense in a world of daily newspapers.
Oh yeah, nobody's working. Yeah,
Because come Monday,
the stars aren't working on weekends.
yeah, we've already forgot about it. But here in the hour of 24 news cycle. Now, the other good thing is with the news cycle moving as fast as it does, even if you get caught up in it, you get washed out of it pretty fast.
Oh well, the thing, right? It's what's the bad news today?
Exactly.
Because
Or
it's like tomorrow's gonna. You have no
you
idea.
have new bad news tomorrow. Yeah. But anyway, today on the show, we're going to talk some more AI stuff.
And it's MicroNation Monday.
This is, I love that you love micronations, and I'm becoming, the more I learn about them, Johnny,
Yes.
the more you've got me convinced that I should start one.
Well, it's so wonderful to. Well, so Agent Allie Lively does a general overview of what a micronation is today, and then we will talk a little bit about that. We have some AI tech news that we'll go run through first. And we will also deal with some stuff you want to talk about college graduates and labor numbers at the end over there. So, and plus we will also see AI tech of the future today, which is some new tech.
Future today.
The future today. Imagine a world where
in a world.
So, what are you eating? I didn't today. Yesterday I cooked my pretty semi-famous in my neighborhood spaghetti. So I had my own spaghetti today. Simple,
nice.
Onions, bell peppers, off the shelf, red sauce with ground beef and regular spaghetti. So it's pretty much comfort food, and I was very happy to have it. And I was hungry this morning, and so I went ahead and already ate it. So,
smart. Yeah, well, we started.
Usually I eat after the show, but I was really hungry today. So
yeah, I too eat after the show. I don't know what I'm gonna have today. I'm not feeling anything. It's Monday. It's like you got to get your vibe back. Got to get your groove going. It'll probably be like a peanut butter and jelly kind of day.
I had dogs waking me up at 2 and 4. They're having some distressful stomach issues.
Oh, that's no fun.
So, and thank God they're very good at like letting me know.
We got to go.
We got to go. And I get a little upset with them. Then I'm like, thanks for letting me know. You could just, crap on the bed. Hold on.
Worse.
The little one, Ellie, has thrown up on my arm before. And that was pretty much, I was awake for hours after that because you don't stop screaming. What is this warm stuff on my arm? It's so much of it. But so I was not too well rested this morning, but I was up at 6 o'clock because I had an early morning. A lot of people in the deep fried studios today.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you're having a busy day.
So, and I'm glad I got a show out, which is great. So I was happy to have all that, but and then, Alabama thoroughly defeated the night shift at, Walmart team this weekend. And so watching, my fellow Alabama fans overreact on a bad loss last week, and now overreacting on, pretty much what even Saban would say, you went out and did what you needed to do against a team like that, but it was pretty close to a perfect game. So,
well, and I think that one thing that we don't have perspective on because we haven't experienced it is under NIL, the top teams are so much better athletically. And the bottom teams are so much worse because if you do a really good job and recruit a kid or find somebody
at Louisiana Monroe,
as soon as they see him on tape, he's out of.
And so Louisiana Monroe plays Alabama last year. So the quarterback has a really good, like shut down one of your A or 2A players. All of a sudden, they get on the radar and they go, "Hey, we need to hold still. That guy's going to be available. And he can play at that level. He's not going to stay on Austin Peay or a Citadel, Georgia State, or Louisiana Monroe."
This is Bruce
Oh, no, you go looking at like,
but
yeah.
he's really a player in our Western
So
Southern Miss or
so
something like that.
and a lot of times, well, Bruce Pearl put a lot of time in the SEC before he was at
Yes.
Auburn, where Nate Oates,
Mhm.
he was up in the Northeast, and
Right.
he pulls a lot from that North Dakota, South Dakota like league,
Yep.
like whatever that is up there.
Yep.
He's pulled like 2 or 3 players from there that are like phenomenal. And again, they're looking for, wow, he's 6'7", has these really long arms, and he can dribble the ball and play in the center and shoot threes. That's interesting.
So
I was that Grant Nelson guy last year.
Yeah. So you know who fits that mold, and he plays for Notre Dame,
Mm.
but his name's Ryder Frost, and he is the nephew of our friend Dan Brennan.
Really?
Yep. So
That's
Ryder,
great.
you know, Dan's brother,
Right.
Tommy, was a legendary basketball coach at Vermont.
Interesting.
And so it's Tommy's grandson, and he played up in the Northeast and played in those prep academies. But anyway, he'll be a freshman at Notre Dame this year, and he's just a big, good-looking dude.
That's
that
cool,
can
man.
shoot. Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch.
I'm sorry. Let me make sure that we're okay. Here we go. We're on.
Yeah, he's.
That's good. So, wait, you didn't say? Did you say what you're eating?
How about maybe?
Uncrustables.
Oh, I love
Okay, Uncrustables, right?
Uncrustables.
Go look at.
Oh, I'm sure it's not right. Yeah.
But I will say they did give them out pretty steadily. Okay, well, I guess it also for kid. Well, you said college athletics.
College athletics.
But I would say for kids, it's something they'll eat it. Like any kid will eat. Yeah, even like a young person would eat
But
that.
this is built specifically to be a recovery meal because of sugars and the proteins.
Right, yeah.
And because it's prepackaged.
Right, easy to give out.
It's easy to give out.
Well, I saw they're also like at Costco, they're frozen.
They are.
Okay, cool.
So,
do you give them out frozen?
I put them in lunch boxes frozen by lunch.
Oh,
they're room temperature.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't eat Uncrustables at my house because if I did, I would eat all of them that need to go in lunch boxes.
No,
So instead of making the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for lunch, I put the Uncrustables in the lunch, and then I make my own sandwich.
Gotcha. If I had this in my house, I'd be carb loading for no reason and would gain 10 pounds.
Of course you would.
But all right, so we're going to jump to AI tech news of the day. These are some quick hits here. NASDAQ files with the SEC to allow tokenization of blockchain listing of stocks. People, that is a little bitty sentence, but that is a huge sentiment there.
Yeah, we could do a whole show on that.
That is tokenization of stocks is very different from any way they are doing that right now. And I would imagine it's going to be faster to trade and more transparency.
Yep.
All right. Alcohol consumption has gone into permanent decline per Bloomberg. I've been reading a lot about that.
I've been reading a lot about that.
Scott was interested in this with these NFL tickets and the price of the U.S. Open ticket. So going off for a long time, NFL ticket resellers today and team ticketing executives, it is very difficult to sell upper level across the league, said one source. Prices cratering all over. If a team goes off to a 0-2 start, it's lights out for them. Average game today is 31% over the last.
Yeah, so that's a really good example.
So start bad and your ticket sales plummet and you're now in revenue problem.
Well, here's where we are. Everything has surged in price since COVID.
Right.
And nothing has decreased in price since COVID except for our wages and our employment. So things that are luxuries for people, like going to an NFL game, which, by the way, cost about $400 a ticket.
I can't imagine what that would be to go to an NFL game.
When the market gets a little tight, the first thing to go are going to be all those group of upper deck fans who are diehard fans,
right?
But can no longer afford to
we would scrimp our money to buy those tickets, and now it's just out of reach.
Yeah, it's not possible anymore.
Yeah.
And so you're going to, I think, as we continue to go through, what's interesting is the labor economists and all the people on the news now are finally starting to say what we've been saying for 6 months. Since the start of the year, we've been saying the market doesn't feel right.
Mm-hmm.
The stocks are too high for how normal people feel every day. And now all the economists are finally coming around and going, oh, you're right. All those normal people are starting to hurt in different
Mhm.
ways. They are having to cut back on things and make decisions, like the McDonald's CEO talking about people skipping breakfast.
Yeah.
So I think that's interesting. But here, go back to that slide real quick.
Mhm.
The thing that I wanted to point out is we're living in two different worlds. So mainstream NFL, you've got the upper decks having a terrible time selling the tickets. Meanwhile, at the U.S. Open in the heart of New York,
Right.
this says you got to pay $12,000 for a seat on the lower level.
Yeah.
However,
$12,000 a seat.
yes, by the time of that match, it was $23,000.
Jeez.
So that was taken.
Well, then
on
it
Saturday.
says that the cost of like a one-seater in section 3, so I guess in the third level up,
Yes.
is $815. That's incredible.
Yeah. So it's,
and that's a final, right?
That is the final.
Okay.
And it's number 1 and number 2, but they have played a lot. It's not like they've never played before. But it goes to show you that we're just living in two different worlds right now.
Woo.
Anyway,
all right. So this is some pretty big news too, right here. We could do a whole show on this. Tons of time on it. OpenAI claims to have found the cause of hallucination. Hallucinations are when AI just makes up stuff when you're doing AI, like just that they put some random fact in there or some random thing that just gets the information wrong.
Right.
And the idea I want to see why it matters is this research potentially makes the hallucination problem an issue that could get better training they do. The AI labs start to reward honesty over lucky guesses.
Yeah. So essentially they had too much punishment in the formula for I don't know. So instead of saying I don't know, it would give you its best guess.
Right. And now they're saying
if you don't know,
then say you don't know.
Say you don't know.
Yeah, I got you. So okay. So that they wanted to that's that whole thing of on that Google thing that says I want to be lucky, whatever.
Yeah, get lucky.
Get lucky.
I'm feeling lucky. That's what
it doesn't mean it's right. So, but AI hallucination again has to do with you still have to read everything AI makes. When we do stuff, we usually do stuff where the sources are not pulling from across the whole internet. It's usually based on a series of articles that we have curated, or we create actually our own research and our own sources, and then we pull from that will limit it. But when you're pulling from just the internet or from Reddit, which is a lot of it, it's just a bunch of bull. It's just not true. It's just there's a lot of falsities in there.
Not only falsities, but just making up studies, or inventing a case that fits your legal argument.
That's the thing. The lawyers that didn't read their briefs, these dummies that all of a sudden you're citing precedent cases, and it's made up cases.
Well, I think what I've seen in a lot of those so far is that the partner signed off and filed the brief without checking the paralegal's work.
Oh, geez.
Or checking the associate's work.
Oh, gosh.
And so, but forever they've been able to not have to worry about that. Because it was impossible for you to go down to the law library and invent a case.
But here's the other thing. You can set up an AI thing to check your AI.
Of course you can.
But I mean, it's just lazy. It's lazy, and you're overly busy, and you think it's not a big deal until it is a big. Hold on. You think it's not a big deal until you realize, oh my God, I got caught, and it's a really big deal. Yeah. And you are embarrassed nationally when it comes out when you've done something in the court of law, or filing something with the government or something really stupid. Yeah. So yeah. All right. This came across my feed today. This makes me talk about feeling stupid. Fun fact, 15 years ago today, you could have bought 15 Bitcoin for 1 cent.
Well,
so that's over
doing in 15 years.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I didn't actually hear about Bitcoin, I think, until 2012. Do you remember when you heard about it first?
Well, 2012 would have been 13 years ago. Probably about 2015.
Yeah, I think 2012 or 2013 was the first time I'd actually. And I was given the white paper. Michael Ray gave me the white paper.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably heard of it in 2013 or 14, but I certainly wasn't.
I went to a meeting, Bitcoin meetup at Serta's Coffee, and still didn't buy Bitcoin with the person telling me how to do it.
Well, you'd have sold it along the way.
I think so. My friend did. He bought 18 of them, and he got rid of. He's only probably still holding them, like 1 or 2. So. Yeah. We will talk about this tomorrow. This is the story that won't go away. It's the 31 Atlas, which is the comet or something in our solar sphere that everyone keeps looking at. But
it's anomaly.
The anomaly, Manhattan-sized interstellar object, 31 Atlas, could release many probes that hit Earth, experts warned. This story has gotten kind of ridiculous. And there's a guy from Harvard who is an astrophysicist or an astronomer or something, and Avi Loeb, I think is his name. Yeah. And boy, they just have They have just piled on this. They've said it's all kind of things. I don't know what it is.
I saw a mainstream astrophysicist, very white bread, vanilla guy.
Yeah, I got you. It's the guy. Yeah, guy.
And he said, I don't think it's a comet.
Right. But
I mean, he said, I don't think it's an alien, but what I know for a fact is that we have never recorded anything like this ever. So we will learn a lot about interstellar travel, and we'll learn a lot about because they believe this is from a different galaxy.
Right. Okay. And then what they say is like it's doing things that are not synonymous with comets, meteorites.
It's speeding up and slowing down.
And also that doesn't have the carbon or the water trail, the tail, all this stuff. So it's exhibiting known, so there's known parameters of what travels through our solar system. Yep. What this thing is doing, it defies all of those things that they know.
Yeah, there's no such thing.
And then Oumuamua or whatever was earlier, like a couple of years ago, and that passed by the sun, and they're not quite sure what that is either.
Well, we've never seen something slow down.
Right.
It has to maintain its
pace. That's what's called inertia.
Yeah, there are no brakes on our comet. So we don't know what's going on.
It's going like 130 something miles an hour, 130,000 something miles an hour.
Which is pretty slow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I guess, I think our planet's moving at like 28,000 miles of something or other. So we'll talk about more about 31 Atlas tomorrow. There's some more things. We want to get into what the hell are these mini probe things? And let's see. And so here we're going to go jump to our MicroNation Monday. And what we're going to do is we're going to have Allie Lively actually give you a heads up on what we're going to try to do is do a MicroNation. We'll pick one a week or something and just spotlight it. They are pretty fascinating. But let me go ahead and let Allie Lively give you the setup of what a MicroNation is.
Hey, y'all. I'm Agent Allie Lively, your Southern technocrat guide to the fringes of culture and code. Today, we're exploring micronations, those plucky, self-proclaimed states that sprout like wildflowers in a server farm. They're not just quirky, they're a masterclass in human imagination. Let's unpack this in 2 minutes flat. Picture micronations as a blockchain ledger. They claim sovereignty, but the world's big governments won't validate their transaction. These are tiny, self-declared states, often with fewer citizens than your group chat, issuing passports and flags, but never getting a UN invite. From Sealand, a rusty World War II fort turned pirate utopia, to Molossia, measuring mass in cookie dough packets. They're like Renaissance dreamers sketching flying machines, bold, a bit bonkers, but brilliant. So why start a micronation? It's like coding an app to solve a problem only you see. Some, like Atlanteum, are philosophical TED Talks. Arguing borders are as arbitrary as dial-up modems. Others, like the Conch Republic in Key West, are tourism stunts. Think secession parties for clout. Then there's Ladonia, born from a sculpture spat, now a haven for art rebels. Their protests, pranks, or social experiments, beta testing new ways to be human. Micronations remind us sovereignty isn't just for superpowers. It's a spark in anyone's mind. They're like open source code for society, challenging us to rethink borders and belonging. Sure, they're not on any world map, but they map the human spirit. As Gaston Bachelard said, imagination builds states. So dream big, y'all. Your micronation might just rewrite the rules. That's micronations, tiny rebellions with galactic dreams. I'm Agent Allie Lively, signing off from the wild edge of innovation. Keep dreaming, keep scheming, and I'll catch y'all in the next micro revolution. Back to you, Scott and Johnny. End of trans.
Well,
I like it.
See, people think
it's interesting.
Well, people think this is silly stuff, but this is the innovation of diplomacy.
Sure.
The UN has a set of, I think it's 7 or 9 rules of things you have to have done to be considered a nation state.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me show you one. This is the one that is probably the most well-known one. And it is called the Principality of Sealand.
Okay.
And the Principality of Sealand is this this platform right here goes way. So these columns are actually living quarters and storage and kitchens and all kind of crazy. So it goes all the way down like 30, 40 feet. So this platform was built in World War II to right by England. It's in the English Channel, was to warn and shoot at the Luftwaffe coming over during World War II. It got abandoned in about 1955, and this low-level British prince took it over with his family, and they created the Principality of Sealand. Now they've got, they got a great thing on 60 Minutes. I mean, you could do a whole show on these guys are amazing. But like, man, they've got, so, they actually have all the things you have to do to be a nation. So, they actually created all this stuff. They went to war with Germany.
That's funny.
Because they had a guy that was the German government wanted, that was like their treasurer, and like they fought him off with guns. They actually have their own money. They've got their own stamps. So there's the German men came on the Sealand to employ a German prison. Yeah. So they actually went to war with Germany. So they've done all the things. That's the family right there that took over as the prince and stuff. So yeah, it's fascinating. I actually bought, you can buy a baronship, you can buy a ladyship, you can buy all these titles and stuff with them. So Principality of Sealand by far is the one that probably is the most well-known. They're in the news all the time.
It's pretty amazing.
And it's a really cool, like I said, this is the, you can buy like a ladyship or a lordship, a baron, e-citizenship. You can get knighted. But so your identity card, I think you can get a passport. It's pretty cool, man. I just love, again, it's the idea is very creative.
You know what I would want to buy? An ambassadorship.
Well, but you have to get Trump to give you the.
Oh, I want to be an ambassador.
First of all, you have to be a citizen first.
$10 citizenship.
Citizenship first, and then you'd have to petition. I think the son and daughter run it now.
Well, they can make me an ambassador to any country. I don't care.
Any country.
Yeah. I just want to be
maybe another micronation.
Yeah.
Malaysia, which is actually by the Salton Sea, and they somehow their currency has to do with the weight of cookie dough, which I don't understand that one at all. We'll have to look into that.
You know, it would be a really good sketch TV show, The Principality of Kaneka, and Kaneka sausage is the currency.
Currency of Kaneka, so you're trading
export. It's the only place that can export Kaneka comes from that
what's
nation.
The GDP of the
Kaneka?
the Principality of Kaneka?
Yeah,
that's pretty funny. And then you could also threaten to rid yourself of the state of Alabama if you don't like things.
Well, I think you should be able to.
But again, if you are a person that there's a whole group of people called the ANCAPs, which are anarcho-capitalists, which sounds, anarchy is not what you think of people spraying A's in the punk rock movement. Anarchy actually has a set of rules. It's not a set of rules. It's more like a set of principles. And then you add capitalism to it, anarcho-capitalists. There's a set of a free market gets put in there too. So it's this kind of interesting state of a stateless state.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea is there's still transactions. You can't take away the idea of transactions. You still have to, even a barter system is a transaction, right?
So yeah, if you want to do this and if you really wanted to create innovation hubs in America,
yes,
what you would do is you would let like Elon take Starbase down there and become a sovereign micronation. Like we have the Indian tribes where they control almost everything, but there are times the feds can step in.
Certain things are superseded.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think that would be interesting to let people innovate new ideas. Like if you want entirely recyclable products in your community, you should be able to start a micro community that does that.
So that's the whole thing. So one of them was Ladonia, which had to do with like this. I have to look into it. Again, down the weeks, we can pick one of these and do a little 5-minute thing on them. Ladonia had to do with like some state-sponsored sculpture that was eventually censored.
Yeah.
And the idea was like, wait a minute, we have this open society, and so the idea was that now Ladonia, this artist, broke away and founded a micronation based on this idea of artistic freedom.
Right.
So a lot of it has to do with like passions. Like, I really believe in And a lot of it would be economic kind of stuff there. Again, this idea of digital currency,
Sure.
holy crap. Like, why would there not be? I'm going to base my whole MicroNation on the idea of how Bitcoin and the Bitcoin white paper, hell, if you think about it, El Salvador is doing that right now.
They're working that plan pretty hard.
I mean, pretty much. I mean, now the cultural and the criminal side is one thing, but their economic side is very much on the side of, we're looking at that white paper as defining how we move as a corporate, as a company to move forward. But a lot of it comes from this idea of passion and problem and just being like overly creative. I mean, there is actually, I think that Malaysia might be the nation of Malaysia. I think it's one of the weird ones that actually is in America, not in some weird island or not in Caribbean or not in strange parts of they call it disputed lands of Europe, meaning like two countries don't want to deal with it. So somebody comes in and says, I'll take those 40 acres or whatever it is, right? But the Salton Sea is a real crazy area of California. So the Salton Sea is this like desolate, it's something to do, it's a big body of water that I think it's been like overly polluted.
Sure.
And I think it became an EPA super cleanup area. So everybody put their hands up to it and said, we want nothing to do with this because the cost of the cleanup.
Right.
Well, somebody came in and took like 120 acres of this thing. And it literally is, they have their own jurisdiction.
Right.
Because the idea is like, well, y'all disputed this land. Y'all gave it up as the state and the federal government. I came in and took it and I did my cleaning up of it. This is mine. Now, don't get me wrong. By force, the state will take it.
If they want to.
But he literally says, I have a real case that says you let it go. I took it up.
So I think that you should be able to, like I said, apply to become a micro. Now, you shouldn't even have to apply.
Well, again,
you should be able to just tell the government, I own this property. These are the laws on my property, except for whatever.
Where are you coming and supersede that I haven't taken care of it?
All right.
Again, what's the thing like where the states don't declare or something, the government,
the
federal government comes in.
But I'm just saying, like, just do it the same way you do the Indian reservations.
Yeah.
And if you want to go out to Washington County and buy a bunch of property and start a casino inside your micronation, you should have the authority to do so.
Usually it would be large amounts of cults and religious kind of things. But again, if you're not bothering anybody else, again, that's
my point.
So the libertarian view that I really like about was the non-aggression pact, meaning let's just say I got to create my own whatever state. The idea is one of the main oaths is we will never use force. They will only use it as defensive. They will never use it as aggressive.
Right.
The non-aggression pact, I think, is one of the most amazing things ever out there. I wish more people understood what that was. But yeah, you can definitely do that. Now, when I get to the question of the day here, which I'm not quite sure where that character came from, but I do like him.
It's kind of like a Gavin Newsom looking thing.
Scott, the question of the day is, and I am springing this on you.
Okay.
If you could have your own micronation, I'm just going to ask you, do you have a name for it? And what would be your purpose and principle?
Interesting. I've got some idea for names.
Okay.
So, Tindletown, but shorten it to like Tindleton.
I like that. That sounds like a real city.
Like Tindleton.
Yeah.
I think that's how
Tindleton.
I think that's how towns were named, right? It was somebody town and they just shortened it.
So the longest city in the world name is in Wales.
Yeah.
And it's 8 families.
Oh.
With, again, Welsh has those crazy,
with whatever alphabet that
very
is.
little vowels all consonant. So the Gwin family name is like the 4th one in.
Oh, that's funny.
It's part of the longest name. Yeah, but it's Gwinn. But that is my family. But that's exactly what it was. They just said, obviously they had a very, everybody was too nice to each other. We'll just call it everybody's name.
We'll call it the 8 families that live here now.
And it literally is like the longest name in the world.
Funny.
Yeah, it's like 60 something or 70 characters long.
So you've got Tindleton. You could go with Scotlandia.
Scotlandia, but here's the problem with that. Scotlandia sounds a lot like Scotland.
It's too close.
Yes.
All right. Then you could go with Tyndallvania.
Tyndallvania is good.
Like Transylvania.
You could be like a Dracula figure. You could put heads on a pike.
So in this world, Tindleton and Tyndallvania would be like opposite universes.
Warring.
Yeah. So it's like factions.
Yeah, it's like Ocean, Land, and Eurasia.
Yeah.
I got you.
So for having just sprung this on me, it sounds like I may have thought this through a little bit. Anyway,
What would be your principles?
Our
Basic principles.
All right. Our basic principles would be personal freedom,
Yeah.
innovation, and kindness.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you're not kind, we're kicking you out.
Yeah. So it's kind of graceful. It's kind of graceful exile.
We have no Karens. This is a Karen-free zone.
Right.
If you're one of those people,
well, you're one strike out, or is there?
You're one strike out.
Oh wow!
I mean, this is an exclusive club, buddy. If you want to be here, we'd love to have you here.
All right. So anybody watching, please mention in the comment section. We'd love to. What would the name of your MicroNation be? And a very brief thing of the principles if you want to join in this conversation. Now, see, I overdid it.
All right.
So I am an only child.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get over being an only child.
Sure.
I had wonderful parents that spoiled the hell out of me. I'm a Scorpio.
Okay.
And I am a non-serial killer narcissist. So, and I'm trying not to be one of those, but I said that is who I am. So if I had the ability to have
your own
my MicroNation, I use those characteristics of, I would be the king.
Right.
But
benevolent,
but I've already made a flag.
All right, let's see it.
I already made the flag, and I've already done my my elevator pitch. So here we go.
Step into the eternal dominion of Scorpia, a visionary micronation where passion meets prosperity. As a digital-first realm, Scorpia offers a vibrant free market economy powered by Austrian principles and our exclusive Scorpi coin cryptocurrency. Under the benevolent rule of King Scorpius I, guided by loyal AI advisors, we blend opulent indulgence with ironclad control. Dissent is elegantly exiled, ensuring harmony. Join our elite community in the metaverse, where your entrepreneurial spirit thrives and tributes fuel royal splendor. Scorpia, where your ambition finds its throne.
All right, so that's real low audio. I'm gonna have to peacefully exile the people who made this.
That's right.
So roughly, it's a nation based on. So it's called the Internal Dominion of Scorpia.
Okay.
And I am King Scorpius I.
Okay.
I am a benevolent dictator until you cross me, but I have AI advisors.
Okay.
All AI advisors that run the place.
Sure.
I will have the idea of innovation. We will have a digital coin, something.
Okay.
Will probably be pegged to the gold dollar.
Okay.
Probably the gold because I want to be followed by Austrian Mises Institute type economics.
Okay.
And we will be heavily fortified with defense, but we will not be overly aggressive to our neighbors or to our allies or enemies.
Fair. All right.
But almost an isolationist society. But I want to be a benevolent monarch until you make me not believe in them.
Isn't that every monarch?
Not every monarch.
Well,
not every monarch.
Not every monarch starts benevolently, but they all end poorly when you cross them.
Well, that's the beauty of understanding how the nature of the state works. Force is always a part of the state. And when you hear, I just watched Patrick Bet-Davis.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't do a very good job of defending capitalism, where he gets surrounded by,
I don't like
20 communists.
It feels like
or
a gotcha.
Well, it's just dumb because they talk over each other the whole time.
Right.
And like I said, he did a terrible job of taking away these children's view of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And roughly what it comes down to is you're an adult in the adult world, and you have to contribute to the adult world. If you don't contribute to the adult world, then bad things are going to happen to you. These people that he was talking to, all of them had purple hair too. Every single one had purple hair and a thing on their nose.
Septum piercing.
It really is a mind virus. It looks like they dress a certain way, look a certain way, talk a certain way, read the same damn books, and won't read the other side of it. Like they would never, they didn't even know the Wealth of Nation. They didn't even know they don't even know who Adam Smith even is.
Yeah.
They only know Das Kapital, they know Engels, they know Marx. It's ridiculous, But again, they keep thinking bartering is the way to transact, which is the most inefficient way on the problem. But again, most of them are sociology majors. And I did the one thing he did say was like, great, you want some bread? How are you going to trade your sociology for some bread? You think the baker needs some sociology from you? Because I promise you, it ain't going to be sociology that person needs.
Yeah, it's hard to tax a barter.
Is what it is. Oh yeah, it's incredibly hard to tax bartering. Yeah, I get it.
And how are you going to pay for all your socialist
Well, again, that's the one thing I love about socialism and communism. You have to build walls. You think to keep people out. Eventually, it's to keep people in.
Yeah.
And again, what's that thing? Oh yeah, it's easy to vote in socialism. It takes guns to get it out.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's not one time. It's like 50 times in the last 100 years, and yet people still keep going down that path. But I understand it. I was political science major at the University of Alabama, which is not exactly a haven for activism, University of Alabama, but everybody all my teachers were probably pretty smart, but overtly coward and mid-level because they're at University of Alabama teaching political science. And
Sure.
I was a mid-level student. So there you go. I'm not making fun of them, but they were cowards, man, because they wouldn't let you record them in class. They would say all this horrible stuff against the United States. And they were just so against everything. And that was back then.
Right.
And I could see why a young mind would be easily influenced by these ideas because it's new. They're new ideas too. They're very new ideas to the student.
Well, I would say this.
Yeah.
Anybody that's surrounded by 98% of one thing is going to be a whole lot like that thing.
Yeah.
And 98% of money donated to political campaigns from higher education goes to Democrats.
Oh yeah.
98%.
You're talking about like the
98% of academia is a registered Democrat.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So,
well, again, but
what
they call it the silent revolution, where they talked about how the communists in the 50s were going to take over America. And one of them was taking over you take over the education system, especially the universities, and everything trickles down from there.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to like poo-poo that. And now that I'm watching it, man, that makes so much total sense because all your future leaders come out of this. And if they don't actually transition over to like more of a reality kind of thing, then yeah, you are creating minions to be able to do this.
It's also, look, if you're willing to play the long game, you can change a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, like the way that Europe is going to become Muslim is because they will vote.
So simple.
They will vote themselves in.
Yeah. It's also, they have Muslim families have 7 kids and Europeans have 1.25.
Do the math.
Yeah.
Doesn't take many generations.
Yeah, I don't know how much of it is so. Like I see a lot of a lot of accounts I watch on X show extreme things in like Britain, where like this mosque gets bought in this neighborhood. And then now these like imams or whatever the heck they're called are walking around telling the businesses, you have 30 days to quit selling alcohol and cigarettes and you can't. Man, I would tell that son of a bitch, forget you, man.
Not in the UK, you wouldn't.
Yeah, well, you're right.
You go to jail if you criticize them.
Yeah. But
they are arresting people.
Yeah, for flags.
For the silliest stuff. You talk about freedom. Oh, this is hilarious. I saw one of the parliamentarians for the UK the other day who said, we're starting to think that maybe we should enshrine freedom of speech into law. Like,
well, it's the Magna Carta. It's like Magna Carta.
But that's why we did this, because we knew, those founding fathers knew, if you don't put it into law, eventually someone will take it away from you.
Yeah. Well, I think that was Nigel Farage, by the way. I think that was him, because he was like, maybe this wasn't a good idea with all this immigration, this mass immigration. Yeah, you think? Because the idea is like
who would have thought that was a good
idea? And that's the thing that I understand. Again, I don't like bumper sticker political slogans, like this idea of diversity is our strength. No, actually unity is your strength.
Right.
Diversity it's not a bad thing, but it's actually not true. Name any team you can imagine where someone said, us not actually acting like a unified force is a good thing.
Well, you can't.
I'm not saying that you like.
Here's the thing. If you want to accomplish a goal, let's say you want to make a touchdown. If half the line decides they want to block and half the line says, I don't agree with this play, so I'm not going to block, you're never going to get down the field.
Well, the thing that got me in watching that surround show was this ability for these people to believe that, first of all, they didn't believe that communists would have dictators, which
why?
Because they kept saying that communism wouldn't allow that. It was like, let's look at history, jackhole.
Let's look at the human condition.
And so, well, then the idea is like, a dictator has to come in to set the utopia. And then as the utopia goes, then it becomes a no hierarchy, political, no class, no cash society. When does that ever even come to fruition? Because the one thing that people do is power never gives up power.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Do you think, I would argue that these kids, 20-year-olds, whatever, they've never actually had the conversation with anyone about it because no one's ever challenged them on what they think.
Well,
it's just like, yeah, you can think that. Yes, sure, sweetie. Like,
well, again, the question immediately would be is, oh, well, you're a business owner and you're an oppressor, and so you're the problem. You're the problem with America. Of course, you don't believe in communism because you would never want that because it would take away power from you.
Well,
again, but you're right. No one challenged them. But again, they will start fighting on the ability of like, wait a minute, why am I even talking to you? You're the devil.
Well, you can't. Here's the thing.
We can't have that conversation because it's a useless conversation.
You're wasting your time.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's no point in having a conversation with someone that's not interested in having an honest conversation. Like, you're just wasting your time.
So that Patrick Bet Davis, like every one of them said, and we're about to get to this good transition from this, was all these like graduating people from college talking about how desperate they were not getting jobs.
Yeah.
And this Patrick Bet Davis has his own media company. He's a millionaire. Mm-hmm. He has a huge online media company. He's as big as like Newsmax or cable news shows. And he offers this one guy who kind of smart, he's having a back and forth. And he says, well, if you're so desperate, he goes, I'll tell you what, I'll offer you a job right now. Would you move to Florida? And the guy goes, well, I'll move anywhere. And he goes, all right, would you move to Florida? And he goes, what if I paid you a livable wage, a fair wage? He goes, wait a minute, my fare or your fare? Immediately.
Yeah, but I think that's reasonable. If you're going to ask me to move somewhere,
but I get it. But what he's also saying is you're not desperate then. Because he kept saying, well, I have to see what your company does. I have to see what your principles of your company, all those things. And he says, fine. And he goes, but if you're desperate, you'll take that job.
You won't uproot your life to move somewhere where you don't know. Because they can fire you.
I've done it.
They can, but most people don't have that risk tolerance. Most people, they've never taken a risk. They've never been allowed to take a risk. They can't walk down the street without calling mom.
I got you. Well,
so I mean,
he made a good point when he says, then you're not at your desperation point yet.
Well, if you were desperate, you'd join the military. Right. There's always that.
Well, option. I mean, he's offering, by the time he got about 5 minutes in, he said, never mind the job offer. Job offer doesn't exist anymore. Please go away. I want you to be around me.
Here's why I would ask if that is why. Let's just do a thought experiment on why it matters how much he's paying. Maybe he says entry-level people in media should start out at $25,000 a year and they should work their way up. I want you to move to Miami on $25,000 a year.
Yeah. I got you. I didn't move to New York for $35,000 because I knew I couldn't afford it. But I was also 30 years old.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like,
I got you. But the other thing is,
it's a reasonable question to ask how much you're paying.
But again, I wouldn't have known this at a young age either. At 24 years old, I wouldn't have known this when I was 30 either. But think about it. Patrick Bet Davis, who's trying to prove a point, he takes you on, and it's a thing he has posted.
Yeah,
he would make sure you succeeded and did well, because then he would be able to say, see what I did this communist over here? I only made this communist. Yeah. It's in Patrick Bet Davis to make sure you succeed.
100%.
And if you gamified that.
Yeah.
But most people can't see how that works.
But that person would never fit in his culture. They would be fired within a week.
I got you. But also the same thing comes from, look, I'm also saying, do you sell out? Do you not sell out? I don't know. But my thing is, you are right. You're right. But
I mean, I think we're saying the same thing.
Well, it is. It's also about, maybe.
Well, here's what I say. People say no one's willing to work for me.
Yeah.
No one's willing to work for what you're willing to pay them. They get to do the same. Like,
if Patrick Bet Davis offered me that job, I would move there now.
I would too.
In a freaking, I would say, Stacey, we have to figure this out. We've got to figure things out, but I am moving to Florida.
But I'm a 43-year-old person that's not scared of
55.
risk. But I'm not scared of risk.
Yeah.
And if I fail, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
All right. Most people are just not built that way, is my point. So first of all, anyway, we can move on.
Yeah,
I think we both kind of made our
that's
points.
So it's interesting. It's called Surrounded. I'm not a big fan of this, smart kind of person knows how to debate, goes into a college scenario and starts like, but it shows you.
It's like dunking on dumb kids though.
But you're
dunking on dumb kids.
But it also shows you if I had kids, I don't know if I'd be so like, I'm not paying you $80,000 to go have you brainwashed. I understand that too.
Most of the parents didn't. They all took
Yeah.
out government loans to do it.
Well, again, yeah, who ends up taking care of it? Whatever. All right.
Yeah.
So let's
Well,
go.
the question about should you be able to get a loan for a degree is a different question.
Yeah. Okay. Real quick, because I still want to get to this future AI tech. So Scott wanted to talk real quick about the jobs right now. Black hole, new graduates discover a dismal job market, bleak job landscape for today's degree holders, why new college graduates are facing one of the toughest job markets in a decade. It's the worst time to be a college graduate. You want to talk about some numbers, and I'm gonna let you take it off and do your thing, Scott.
Yeah. So after reading all this, I started to try and look through some numbers, and what we have there should be about 3 million people who are entering the workforce in 2025. That's either high school graduates, high school dropouts, college dropouts, or college graduates, right? You add those up, you get to 3 million. So in order to have full employment for these students or young people, we need to either create 3 million jobs or have a combination of 3 million jobs or jobs created in retirements, right? So then I said, well, what's the retirement number? Looks like the retirement number, if everyone retired like they normally would, which is not going to happen because we've seen in recessions, retirements decrease.
Look, man, I just met a guy who worked good friend of mine, worked his whole life, probably never took a sick day, knowing this guy, retired above age, still did part-time work. He just told me he's working for DoorDash right now.
Yeah.
So I mean,
all right. So
woo!
Let's say that 1.2 million people did retire like they would normally retire. They're not going to, but let's say they did. We're at 1.8 million jobs that need to be created this year to fill those positions. The latest data shows that we are losing jobs every month. So we should expect to see 1 million of these 1.8 unemployed on the unemployment number, because they're not in the unemployment numbers yet because they haven't been looking long enough.
Yeah, right.
So when that cohort rolls into it, that number is going to balloon.
Yeah.
And then it's not going to get better before the next cohort graduates in the spring. And we've got a whole new crop of the 26 graduates. We got another 3 million coming through.
I would love to know locally what the job market. I just don't know what locally the job market is. I just don't know. I don't have a clue.
When I talk to business owners, what I hear is, if I could afford to pay my employees more, I would.
Of course.
Like,
hold on, especially the good ones.
Yeah. Well, the people that we're friends with.
Right?
We're not friends with bad business people.
Well, no, but I was also saying, like, there's not employees though. I'm talking like the ones that I want to keep because I cannot replace them and I put so much time into them. You had better pay them to stay there because it's too expensive to lose them.
Well, even when I say that, or what they mean is, they know their employees are struggling, and they would, in a perfect world, they would like to be able to give their employees, we've lost 20% of the value of the dollar in 5 years.
Yeah, well, it's been we lost this year. It's been really terrible too.
So if you get a 3% raise, you're not catching up.
You're not catching up.
You're going behind. But the point I'm making is, they would if they could. And so I don't blame employers when they say, I can't get anybody to work at this wage.
Yeah.
I think what they're saying is, the market is out of balance. People can't live on what I can afford to pay them.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm not demonizing business owners when I say that. Like, they're paying what they can, but the price of everything has outpaced what you can earn in your job.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know what the answer to that is. But I don't see AI. Everything we talk about is AI taking jobs.
Yeah, it's not going to add. There's no adding jobs with AI.
And when people retire in a lot of those fields, you're not going to replace that person.
No, they'll sunset it. Yeah, they'll sunset that job.
I mean, some jobs you're going to have to replace people that are retiring, but I mean, so that's where, all right, all this goes back to, why does it matter if the AI revolution takes 2 years or 10, right? It matters because that's how long we have to survive this thing to come out on the other side. I'm almost to the point now where I think we should break it as fast as we can, so we suffer as short as possible.
When has our government ever done that, though? We haven't done it before.
Well, here's what I'm going with.
2008, we should have crashed the market. We didn't.
Well, AI may do it for us. it may
right.
force us to crash our
Right.
systems
Yeah.
because they're unsustainable.
Yeah.
And the faster that, if we know that's inevitable, the faster it happens. It's like having cancer and having the surgery to
I got
remove
you.
the cancer.
No, it's like, do you want to give like the most extreme form of therapy, or do you want to do this slower process? Well, no, let's go ahead and
Let's just get it over
let's
with.
throw the kitchen sink at it.
Yeah. I think
It may kill me. I mean, that's what chemotherapy, the idea is like, they'll get as close to killing you as they possibly can by keeping you alive to kill the cancer.
Yeah.
So,
well, we're going to have to do, we may be forced into that situation sooner than we want.
well,
Unless somebody can comment on here or some economist can come, I can't find anybody telling me
no one's talking
where a
about
million jobs are coming from.
The other thing is no one's talking about it. They're talking about it in the same circles that we're talking about Bitcoin in 2012 and 13. Okay,
Yeah.
But no one's talking about it in this idea of larger conversations. And as you've put it, don't ask your mayor candidate what's going to happen what's roughly the next 3 to 5 years. It's coming, and you have no plan or anything about this. Then the idea, but they can't answer that because there is not a positive answer to that question.
Well, you don't get elected by telling the truth.
Yeah.
You don't get elected by saying, if we get into a crisis, we're going to have to introduce austerity measures and we're going to have to lay off city staff and we're going to have to reduce city services. No one ever gets elected by telling that.
Yeah. And I would also say, what is the amount of the rainy day fund that you've got sitting there? Can you survive?
How long can you ride it out?
Are you a prepper for your city? Because you might need to be a prepper.
Well, the other thing that's interesting is the latest jobs report, and who knows how accurate these things are right now.
I'm done with all reading those things.
28% of the people who are unemployed have been unemployed and looking for 18 months.
But again, those people that aren't the ones that have already dropped off.
No, these are the people that are still looking. They haven't. These are people that haven't given up yet.
Yeah, there's a whole subset of people that have been looking so long they've dropped off.
Yeah, and when you go to hire now, every month you're out of the job market, it increases the red flag of, well, I can go hire somebody away from this other company, or I can hire this person that's been unemployed for 18 months. Like,
yeah,
why couldn't you get a job from anybody else?
Yeah,
it's just this little bit of sand that gets inside their brain and starts eating away at it.
I'll tell you, I don't know how. I guess they're accurate on LinkedIn, but I get a lot of advertising job positions open, but they're very nichey. Like they're all ACDs, associate creative directors. They're high levels. None of them are entry level. But again, that could be based on me because it's because of my profile.
It's probably based on
my profile. Yeah.
I saw a stat this week that said over 80% of job postings are ghost postings.
Explain a ghost posting.
A ghost posting is to make your company look like they're growing.
Look like they're
so you're advertising positions
that doesn't really exist.
They don't.
You have no intention of filling.
Correct.
That makes sense. Because you look like. Now I'll tell you that the crazy world of advertising, it has a lot to do with. You get a new client, you hire for it.
Of course.
When you lose it, it's immediately gone.
It's a surge.
It's immediately. So they literally hire. It's almost like a team saying, "We got a new league.
That's right.
We got to up our pitchers or whatever." Whatever. But once you lose that, we go back down. They go right back to where they were. Yeah, but that's just part. But again, I have to tell people all the time: if you haven't been fired, or let go twice or three times in advertising, you haven't been around long enough.
Right.
Because you're not working for agencies that are growing and moving fast enough. Now, again, it's different here. Because the South is a different part of where we're behind everybody else in trends, or good or bad.
And that's an important point when we talk about national statistics. This country is very diverse.
Oh yeah.
We're just getting an average of it. Like it is far worse in some places and it is far better in others.
Yeah.
I feel like we'll probably be in the middle somewhere.
And again, when let's just say 2008 years, we had banks that were so late to the game, they didn't do all that crazy bundling and all that stuff.
Right.
And then right at the end they did, and they're the ones left holding the bag.
Right.
It was almost like, man, if you're going to be just stay ultra conservative. You're making 3% or 4% a year.
Yeah.
Well, just keep making 3 or 4% a year.
Yeah. My grandfather told me, pigs get fed and hogs get slaughtered.
Pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered.
Yeah. Don't be greedy.
I got you.
Don't eat too much. You take too much, you get plump and fat and
I also put that back to the pendulum swing theory, which is you get too greedy on policy too.
That's right.
It's everything. Everything gets slaughtered. Yep. Yeah, it's best to say, hey, there's a point of disgust, but not too much disgust.
Well, it goes. All right, here's a great example. if Trump takes the National Guard into Chicago, then you have to have a question with yourself of, does the president have the authority to do something like that? And if you say yes, you cannot get mad when Gavin Newsom sends
Yes.
the National Guard
Yeah.
into your town.
Yeah.
Because you've agreed that the president has the
Yeah, well,
authority to do that
yeah.
when they decide to,
Yeah.
without asking Congress, without checking with anybody.
Yeah. All these unwritten norms chipped away and chipped away and chipped away. And now it's chipping out in large blocks.
Right.
You know, but, you know, the vast amount of what I used to say was state sovereignty has eroded. So I told you before, I've gotten to a point where, like, state of Alabama takes so much money from federal government, we have no right to say anything. Like, again, we've already had that conversation.
Yep.
And that's just, you know, people would disagree with me. I'm like, yeah, but the problem is you don't have your hand out and then bite the hand. I mean, my thing is also is like, if you've got a situation that is that the streets, some parts of the streets of Chicago are more dangerous than there are in Afghanistan. That at that point is, then what do you do? If the local people, the people in charge, can't do anything to fix it, do you just let people just still get killed in the street? I don't know. Wait, I'm not a theologian. I'm not a philosopher. I don't know these things. But the idea is, if you are especially a big city Democrat, which is most big city Democrats that run a big city, if you hate Trump so much and this administration, then you damn sure better do anything that you can to tie up everything where he doesn't come in your city. You don't give him an excuse to come in that city.
So I would take what we're saying earlier and pivot that back to you and say, I would say to those people that live in Chicago, you can either do two things. You can either vote new leadership in together, or if you don't think you can do that, pick your feet up and go to somewhere outside of Chicago that accepts your Section 8 voucher. Because you're not living there because your job makes you be there.
Right.
If you're in that part of Chicago,
they won't leave because that's their neighborhood. Yeah, I got you.
Okay,
but but you're right. You can then go find a place that's safer. Well, again, that was the whole idea. Never mind. I'm not getting all this, but I grew up the son of a social worker, and I will tell you, people at a certain level, socioeconomic, I will tell you, don't know how to get out of the situation they're in. They don't have the tools,
right?
And there's a system that fails all around them. And the idea is they don't know how to leave these neighborhoods, even though it's your neighborhood sucks, man. Your neighborhood's dangerous for your children. But I'm not going to preach about that because I don't have any right to preach about that. But
I don't either. It's just interesting.
And this is not Dystopian Thursday.
I know, right? Every day is feeling like Dystopian Thursday sometimes.
Well, because we start our own nation. I would not have a welfare system in my micronation. I can tell you that right now.
No. Well, a micronation, you wouldn't need one.
Well, I'd have a real big meritocracy, and you would have high rewards. There would be much more rewards incentive than a punishment or a handout incentive.
All right, here's my question. This is a real question.
We've got to get going.
All right,
1 minute.
If I moved to your micronation, and I suffered a calamitous injury, and I was like, I couldn't work anymore, would I be exiled from? You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
I'd have to figure that out.
Think about that for next time.
I'd have to figure that out.
Because otherwise you liked me. I just can no longer be a productive member of the community.
Right.
We all like him, but boy, he can't work anymore.
But not everybody has to be manual labor.
No, that's my point. But maybe. Do you find me a new job? What if there's no new job?
Anyway,
I don't know. Lots of things to think about.
That was a fun day. Micronation Monday.
When you're making it up as you go, you can make up the laws as you go.
And maybe I'd be one of the benevolent leaders says, we're a new territory here. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out as we go. And we're going to make some mistakes. This is the one thing I wish our government could do is say, hey, we screwed up.
Right.
I wish Trump would say that vaccine idea, at the time's not a good idea. No, I'm not thinking so much. But he still keeps going back to what a great job they did.
Yeah.
So, again. Never forget what happened to us, by the way, and all that COVID-19 stuff. I'll never forget. I'll never forgive. I might forgive, but I won't forget. I can tell you that.
Absolutely not.
All right, everybody, have a good day, and we will see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Thanks for being here.
And them's the lunch breaks.